This is How's Your Heart.
Hi guys, we're back.
Welcome back to episode 2 of Premiere Week.
We made it to another day.
It's a new day.
It's a new dawn.
I can't sing, so I'm not going to keep on singing.
I was ready for it. I was going to go for it. So yeah, we're back.
We are back. This is so exciting. I am really excited for this episode. We have our friend Madison Watkins joining us in a little bit.
Guys, you were in for a treat, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
So let's cheers to episode 2.
Yes.
And let's get into it.
So Tico Lorenzo,
The question of the hour. How is your heart?
Ooh, that is such a good question, Anthony Sacco.
isn't it?
It really is. My heart is really good. I have had a good week, super productive. I know that on the first episode I mentioned that I had the Monday blues.
I remember that.
Yes, and this week came, Monday came, and I think it was just a little bit of a small era that I had these Monday blues, and I am better. I've had a productive week. I have had a lot of meetings. I'm launching a swimwear line with Ross.
Very true. I saw them, guys. They look really good.
Oh, thank you.
I'm excited.
And been doing the podcast with you, and I'm just happy. I am content to be here doing this live. I mean, this isn't live, but you know what I mean.
I getcha. But question, do you think that your Monday blues kind of maybe didn't happen this week because you talked about them? And I don't know, when I talk about problems, they kind of either, I don't know. Do you think talking about it might have fixed that? It's like therapy,
I know you said that I should talk to my therapist about it, but I talked to you about it.
Your
and
second therapist, Dr. Anthony.
Yeah, correct. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I hadn't had talked to anyone about my Monday blues, so yeah, I think that me talking about it.
We love releasing that into this creative space.
Yes. Wow, I really did not think about that. That's amazing. So yeah, I did get it out of my system by saying it and talking about it, and yeah, I'm in a much better place. We're here. We're doing the damn thing.
Loves it. We're
I
living.
have a question for you.
What?
My question to you is, how's your heart, Anthony Sacco?
My heart?
Yeah, yours.
My heart is very good. To piggyback on what you just said, us doing our second episode already, I could tell that this is something that makes my heart warmer, happier. It makes me feel, I don't know, just this conversation that we're having, I can already tell is going to be such a positive experience for both of us. And yeah, so that's definitely something that I've realized is definitely helpful to my heart and my happiness. But also something that I did today, we took a berries class this morning. Tico's first, my second. But even though for that, I don't know, was it 45 minutes or an hour?
It was 50 minutes.
50 minutes in the between. Even though in that 50 minutes, I actually wanted to die and pass out, like throw up almost came out of my mouth. The feeling you get after it is it's like a serotonin without doing drugs.
We were ready to conquer
the world.
Conquer.
I concur.
We were ready for our day after that.
Yeah.
It really does put you in a good mood, and it's like it sets the tone.
Yeah, what better way? Like it gives so much. It makes you feel skinny, makes you feel happy, makes you feel accomplished, productive. So yeah, I love a good old berries class. And you bought a package. We both have packages, so we're definitely going to go back, try berries out. Maybe in West Hollywood, we'll bump into you.
I want to confess something.
What happened?
It wasn't my first time at Berries.
Oh, my God. I thought you've been, but then you said that to the lady.
Yeah, because
I hope she's watching this.
I love a good deal.
Or listening.
I love a good deal, and it said...
First-timers.
You get 3 for the price of, whatever.
Finesse in the system. Yeah. Did Ross teach you that?
No, I kind of just saw it, and it made me smile.
So how many berries classes have you taken?
A lot. I used to do it a lot. I used to live on
Oh
the
my god. In that location?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The truth comes out, guys.
It's a space to confess your sins.
Well, seems like our hearts are in a good place today. Perfect for episode 2. Never doing that again with you. So, something that we both realized recently. I don't know where I heard the word. The word empath. When was the first time you heard that word? And what did it mean to you?
You know, I work with this brand called the Mayfair Group, and they have sweaters and a bunch of stuff, and they have it that says empathy.
Mm-hmm.
And I never really knew the definition of it until I was in the car with you one day, and you were like, you said you heard it on a podcast or something, right?
I'm still trying to figure out where I heard it, but because I know I brought it up to you, but it probably was a podcast.
I think that
Knowing me.
a little podcast lover, you were like, I heard this on a podcast, and I think I'm that. And I was like, and you were explaining to me what an empath is. And I was like, oh my God, I think I'm an empath. And you were like, yeah, you definitely are. And I was like, and then I went home and I Googled it and did my own research. And I am an empath.
Me too.
Do you want to go into detail?
First of all,
those that don't know?
Saying that you did research makes me laugh because it makes me think about the stupid people that are researching the vaccine. But we won't get into that because this is about hearts. Yeah. It just grinds my gears when they say, I'm going to go do some research on the vax. Are you going to go into the lab and test tubes and do all that?
With the little rats.
So honestly, I wish I would have Googled the actual definition before I got on this podcast because we knew we were going to talk about this. So I should have done some homework. So I don't want to sound stupid, but I think that empaths are people that feel others' emotions. Like if the group is sad or the people that I'm with are sad, I pick up on those feelings for some reason, and I'll turn into a sad boy. Like it's just very easy for me, my mood, to be kind of influenced by the people around me, just because I guess I care about those people, and it's easy for it to just shift into my mood.
Yeah. Especially
when it's anxiety. When someone has anxiety around me, I pick up on that so easily, and I'm anxious for the rest of the day. That's like my least favorite thing about it.
No, yeah, same. If anyone is around me and they have they're stressing out about something, I'm like, I need to get out of this room because I can try that it's not affecting me, but deep down it's affecting me, and then it just lingers on me because I take on other people's emotions and how they're feeling. And I wish I wasn't an empath.
Yeah, but I think there are
there definitely are positive things. I remember I looked it up, and there really are good empathy and empath quotes.
No, the word empathy.
Empathy.
The reason that's on your sweater is empathy is to have care for others, to care what they're going through, and that's something that I've realized in this year and day and age has been so important because there's so many people that have been struggling. And we should understand what they're going through, or have sympathy for them and care for them and help them in any way that we can. But I think a lot of people lack that in America, especially, and only care about themselves. And that just is why we're so divided. People don't have empathy for other people, and that gets us nowhere. We should be unity and really feel for others. I think it's better to have more empathy than less. But be careful. You don't want to take on other people's emotions too much, because the more you do it, the more you're just never going to have your own emotions. So that's no good.
Yes, that's what I was trying to I think explain, and I was thinking it in my head, but I don't have the right full words for it. But I think that sometimes you're too empathetic and then you just get drained.
Yeah,
and you
it's
don't
draining.
have anything for yourself, or I think that's when it goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a fine line of just balancing it, and you have to find the balance.
For sure.
Just be nice to people.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, mate. At the end of the day, it's better to have empathy than to not, because times are tough. You need to help people out, care for them.
Yeah.
in any way that you can. That's my message of the day.
Do you have any
Teeny's way. Stories. I love stories. What kind of stories?
About empathy.
The last time I thought about empathy was when we were in Joshua Tree, to be honest. Because Tico has a group of friends who are now my group of friends. And each one of them is an artsy, very big personality person, which I love. We all are kind of similar in that sense. And so we went and stayed at a house together. And I think each person kind of was like on a different, not each person, but there was just a lot of moods, emotions, like ideas of what we were going to do or what we wanted to do. And I think that kind of poured out all over. Like, I don't know. I just felt so many different emotions. And I think I started picking up on so many of them. So then that's when I like stayed a little bit quiet or to myself, because I realized I was picking up on all these emotions, like whether someone was anxious or someone was not in the mood to drink or something. Like, I just was like, okay, I need a moment.
Yeah.
Even though they're my best friends, I love them all, but I needed a moment.
Yeah.
And so it's good to step away. I think I did that. I definitely took a nap. I definitely passed out on the couch. I definitely took a nap on the outside patio. I just was like all around town.
Sleeping around town.
Not that way.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that was
still so much fun.
Yeah, but it was definitely, I felt that as well, because being a host of a trip, you just want everyone to like be good, and you know,
everything to go perfect.
Exactly. And when like someone else was complaining that someone else wanted to do something else, it was just a lot, and I was like, all right, I just am gonna like
take some shots, jump in the pool, and call it a day.
Correct. No, I was just like, I'm just gonna try my best to disconnect from all these people right now. Like emotionally.
Yeah.
In an empath way. Because it was too much for me personally, and I was like, I don't care if you're inside the house. Like, you know, like I can't make everyone happy.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna do my own thing, and everyone else can do their own thing and just live life.
Yeah, and that we did.
Yeah, but overall, 10-10 trip.
All right, so tonight we have an amazing guest.
Our next guest is one of our friends, one of my best friends. She's amazing. You may have seen her in my Instagram stories or Anthony's stories. She's amazing. She's also been on American Idol this past season. And she's just going to be here talking with us.
Yeah, we have some questions lined up for her. But let me tell you, talk about a heart. She has one of the biggest ones, genuinely one of the biggest hearts I've ever met. And not only that, she's so talented, can sing. Wait till you see what she looks like. Like, just, it's the full package. I'm so excited for this conversation.
Me too. We are going to get deep. We are going to get to the bottom of how her heart is.
And there's a little secret that she has something to do with the name of this podcast.
Yes. So we will be right back. All right, we are back with one of my best friends, Madison.
I love you.
First guest.
Oh, this is so cool to be the first guest.
I know.
What?
How lucky are you? Just kidding.
How lucky are we?
No, for real.
No,
that
I'm
part.
so lucky. Honestly, when you told me about this, I was just like, I cannot believe that. First of all, I get to be the first guest. And then number two, the title is so good.
I know. So that's a funny story because I don't even think you know this. Well, I told Anthony that I got How's Your Heart from Madison, but we've known each other for what, like 3 or 4 years now? So when I first met Madison, she was closer to my other friend Carly, and I would only see her like sometimes. And we went to lunch one day, and at that time I was fighting with my boyfriend that I had, and I went to lunch with you guys, and when I got there you were like, oh my god, hi Tico, how are you? I miss you, blah blah. You're like, how's your heart? And I was like, that is such a weird question.
And here we are.
And then I was literally texting in the group chat. I was like, did any of you tell Madison that I'm fighting with blah, blah, blah right now? Like, that's so weird. I felt, because, like, I wasn't very, like, open about my feelings or anything like that. And, like, now I understand the question. But I was like, that's so weird. Like, that, you know, like, how's your heart? So
what did they say in the group text that they didn't
they were
tell?
like, no, why
Yeah.
would we tell her? Because I got to the lunch late. So I was like, were you guys talking about me? Blah, blah, blah. And they were like, no, no, no. But then we got closer during quarantine. And I'll never forget it because you were there for me during my breakup. And you would always ask me, like, how's your heart? And, like, that's where I grew to love it.
And here we are with How's Your
me
Heart
getting
podcast.
emotional already.
I know. I'm like, I can't wait for this because I already know we're going to get really emotional.
Yeah.
But I'm just so happy that you ended up being like vulnerable with me because I know that that takes a lot of courage. And I think that that's something that I always want to do with my friends. And even last night we had a conversation in the car, and after we had it, I was like, Tico's gonna think I'm crazy, but I know that later on he will come to me and do the same thing that you did with the how's your heart thing.
Yeah.
Which you like, you'll be like, okay, like now I understand why you talked to me about that or why you asked me about that. And so I appreciate your vulnerability because it's hard to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to be like, to step out and be vulnerable first before someone else is.
And Tico's not usually the more vulnerable person. So it's shocking to hear that you were very vulnerable with her.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well,
though.
now I'm definitely more vulnerable
yeah,
than
you're
I
an evolved
was
person now.
when you asked me that question. And now that's a question that I take on because I see the question and it's more than, like, when you explained it to me, I think it was like after probably like the 5th time of us hanging out or like when we got close over the last summer or whenever that was. You were like, yeah, because it's like good to see below surface level and like actually see how you're doing. And I'm like, that is so true. Like when I look back at it, I was like so grateful that you asked me at that moment because that's probably what I needed, but I didn't like really see it or hear it in the right way, but that's what I needed. And now I take that on and I ask all my friends that, or just ask like random people that, and it's all thanks to you. And it's all like, we have the title How's Your Heart because of you. Like you brought that into my life, and now I ask everyone.
I love you guys.
We love you.
We're gonna start crying before it even starts. So what is that? What does how's your heart? What does that like mean to you? Like whenever you think about it, is it like is there a visual that comes to mind? Is it like someone being there for? What does that mean to you?
Like when I ask it or when someone asks me?
Oh, that's a good question. Both.
I think when I ask it, I just want it to be like a tap on your shoulder, like, I'm here for you. I want to know, like, how's your heart? I don't care about, like, we can be laughing or we can just be talking about pop culture and stuff, but, like, I want to get to the bottom of it. I want to know how you're doing mentally, physically, all of the above, you know? So by asking that question, I hope that people take it in the right way and they know that I am there for them. And if they're not ready to talk at the moment, they can still know that I'm there for them. And I'll be all ears.
It's just a deeper way of saying, how are you doing? Instead of just saying the surface level stuff, we get deeper and like get to the root of really where it's coming from, your heart.
Yeah.
So with you, like you said, it's hard for him to be vulnerable. Do you feel like it's easier for you to be vulnerable, or what has that process been for you?
I think it depends on who I'm talking to. When I'm close to someone, I'm an open book. I just always to this guy, I vent all the time, or I'm just always saying any emotion I feel. To my mom, I call her and tell her how I'm feeling. So, yeah, I think I'm more vulnerable, but reserved to the right people that aren't allowed in yet.
I love that. Yeah, and I think something, I kind of like made that phrase up. I mean, I'm sure other people have used it, but I had never heard anybody say that.
Same.
Yeah, but it was something that I wished people would ask me, because a lot of the times I come across as like a very happy, like joyful person, right? And I am. Like, I feel so joyful a lot of my life, but there's a lot of times where I'm not okay and I don't feel joyful, I don't feel happy, and I need someone to like go deeper with me, even if I don't want them to. And so I think when I realized that about myself, I was like, well, then I need to do this to other people. You know, like I need to get to the root of why they feel the way that they do, because we don't love people if we don't really know where they're at.
Yeah.
Like, what is true love? It's like knowing someone at their deepest, most intimate core. And I think in our pop culture and like living in LA, we only look at surfacey things.
Yeah.
And I think
Especially in LA, yeah.
Especially in LA. And I think it's just so unhealthy, because it's like, what's the point of life if you're not really loving people for like really where they're at? You know? It's seriously, it's like, what are we doing? Like, what's the purpose of just like caring about like physical things, or like what you drive or what you wear, or like going out, whatever. All those things are like fun and like whatever, but the purpose of life isn't those things.
Yeah, in the long run, those things don't count.
Yeah, we were talking about that last night. Like on your
I was just gonna say
deathbed.
that. When you're dying,
Say it.
you don't take anything with you besides the memories that you've lived, the people that you've had in your life, you know? Like, you're not going to take a Cartier bracelet with you, you know? So I think it's very important to realize those things before it's like too late. I mean, I think that some people realize it and some people don't, but I definitely do realize it. Yeah.
But it's a process too. Like, I think it takes maturity to like have a perspective on life that's bigger than like looking like this. You know,
100%.
you have to like look out and see that. Be like, okay, like this is what I have.
Yeah.
So what am I gonna do with this like time that I have?
Yeah.
You know?
I definitely feel like I have grown so much. Like, even from 4 years ago, I was a whole entire different person that I am now. I know things, I've learned things, you know, I keep evolving and changing. So I definitely know that that is fact. It does take time and people change, but
I love that. And I think I've been on like a lot of podcasts, and all we do is talk about surfacey things. And I love it. It's so fun. Like, podcasts are so fun.
Yeah.
Like, you can be goofy. You can talk about relationships. Like, you can talk about your dumbest moments, like, in life. And we'll get there, too. But, like, but I'm like, I just think that even the title of your podcast makes people go deeper right away.
They know what it's going to be about, or at least a hint.
And I think that that is more important than anything else, because it's like so crazy that you can get somebody in here and get to know their heart on a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is that?
it is.
Amazing.
I
Well,
know.
welcome. We're so
Thank
happy to have you.
Cheers. I love it.
All right, well then let's dive into the first question for Miss Madison. How is your heart right now in this moment?
Oh my god. I love it. I don't know why I just got nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh. Hold on. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
There's more.
That's a great. Are
Let's
you
get
about
you a
to
refill.
Yes, I only got a little, so fill her up. Oh, okay, maybe.
It's gonna last the whole podcast.
Okay, perfect. Well, I was just telling Tico, I just got back from this like incredible conference, and so it's crazy because you guys were supposed to film this with me last week, and then we both had things in our schedules that we couldn't do it. You know that, duh. But I'm telling like everybody else, like I'm telling you.
We have to inform everyone.
Yeah, so I'm telling them, but we had to reschedule, and I feel like it was like totally the perfect timing because I went to that conference and like I had like a lot of revelations and my heart changed in a lot of ways. And so it's crazy because I was telling him like there were different times throughout the conference where I kept thinking about this podcast. Isn't that weird though?
I love that.
Like there's so many, and not to be like I'm so busy or like say something like that, but I have a lot in my head. I have a lot going on in my life, and the fact that this specific thing kept coming up was just so, I feel like it was like meant to be. And I just kept thinking about it, and I just kept praying about it. I was like, what am I supposed to say like on this podcast? And I think number one, I just wanted to share that like we all are going through things. We all have like hard things we're going through or insecurities we're going through. But I think that it's so cool to be able to have people in your life that actually will unconditionally love you through the things that are going on in your heart. And I think that's been the biggest thing, is like, just in relationships. I mean, me and Tico have had like conflicts or things that we've gone through, and then like after we get through them, we love each other like even more.
Yeah.
And we care about each other's hearts even more. And I'm sure like you guys have had the same thing. And I think it's so cool to have people around you that know really how you're doing. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, the past couple months, so I did American Idol. You guys know that. I don't know if everybody watching knows that, but the show was like so amazing, and I really like loved being on national television. But the second I got off the show, it was like one thing after the next, like bad like was happening to me. And I was in a really dark place, like a very dark place. And even like Tico was like, Mads, like I haven't seen you in so long. And I think that's because I isolated myself. And I think that's the most like unhealthy thing you can do when you're going through bad things, is isolate yourself, because we're literally made for community. We're made to be around people, right? Mm-hmm. So I was not doing good. And you guys know, like, I'm super strong in my faith. And I think that was one of the biggest things, is just like asking God, like, I need you. Like, I cannot do this on my own. Like, I need you to give me hope. I need you to give me peace, clarity, so many things. And I felt like he healed my heart in a lot of ways. And it was just so cool, because this weekend at the conference, it's like everything that I've been feeling was talked about, I had people encourage me. Like, I was telling Tico something last night. I was like, I feel like God gave me a word about you. And I'm sure he like thought I was crazy, but I really do feel like God can talk to all of us, right? But we don't always sit and listen. Mm-hmm. We don't always sit still enough to like hear his voice. And so anyway, so I feel like there was people there that like heard from God about my life. And it was like, they didn't know me. They didn't know what I was going through, but it was like spot on. And it freaked me out.
I love that.
But in a good way.
Yeah.
When you learn about what other people go through, and when you learn about other people's struggle, whether that's like being gay or like being like racism or whatever it is, you begin to create this empathy.
That's literally what we talked about before you got here. That was like our topic of our solo podcast. Empathy, feeling for others.
Tell me about it.
That you should just feel for others. You never know what other people are going through, like racism. And I was saying, especially in this day and age and climate, like with what's going on in the world, all we should do is feel for others. And like, why should we make a divide between people? We should understand what these people are going through and be a unity. Like, that's what I think. That's how I want to live my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, empathy, 100%.
Yeah, I just love that. Because I also just feel like we are so self-centered nowadays. We're so selfish, and we don't even realize it. Like, we think, it was funny, okay, I'm gonna stop talking about the conference. But it was like yesterday, so I'm just like so hyped up. But she was just like, people aren't thinking about you. Like, you literally think people are thinking about you, and they're not. You're thinking about you. And it's like, really, we care so much what other people think about us, when we should really be caring about how other people are doing. And that's empathy.
Yeah.
Man, that was a word. Okay, I'm sorry. That's like the little snippet I'll post. No,
I was just thinking that in my head. I was like, that's what we are using.
That's literally it. But it's true. It's like, we care so much. Have y'all seen Princess Diaries?
Of course.
Yes.
Iconic.
Yeah, like, you know the monologue she does when her hair is wet, and she's like, and then I realized all I was saying was me. Or like, she was only talking about me, or like I in her speech. And she's like, and then I thought about Genovia, or whatever it is. But it's like, that's us. I don't know if you guys feel that way, but I feel that way. I think about myself so much more than I should. When there's people that are homeless, there's people, not even just those extremes, but there's friends that are hurting inside.
But at least you're aware of that. There's many people that are just thinking about themselves and not aware that they should be thinking about homeless people. Like, the awareness is what's the important
self-aware.
part. Yeah.
And like, we're humans, so we're gonna think about ourselves.
Course.
It's not like that's gonna happen. But I think like what you said is like empathy is such a gift, because that day when I asked you like how's your heart and you were freaked out, I was really trying to be empathetic, and that's also weird because I had no idea what was going on in your life.
No, I know. That's so crazy to me.
That's what I'm saying, Tico. He be telling me things. You better watch out. Right. No, I'm just kidding. But it's crazy because when someone, like, you will never forget the moment that I asked you that.
Yeah.
Because I had empathy towards you. And there's that quote that they always say, people might not remember what you said to them, but they'll remember how you made them feel. Mm-hmm. I love that quote.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's so true. Because when you make someone else feel loved, heard, comfortable, they will never ever forget the way that you made them feel.
Yeah, 100%. I'll never ever forget when you said, "How's your heart, Tico?" At that lunch.
Truth bombs, right?
And since then, Tico has asked me that at least, I don't know, a handful of times, more than that. I just remember each time it's just, it makes me feel good. It makes me the same way. Empathy.
Yes.
Empathetic. And now I've asked that question before too.
Oh my gosh.
I know Ross has said it too. Like, yeah, that.
It's just a thing now.
We've been on trips. Like, we're probably in Mexico, and he was like, "How's your heart today?"
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
I feel like it was probably like maybe after Palm Springs when I met, like a month after I met you, and I was like, "How's your heart?" I was like, "I hope he doesn't think I'm weird."
Yeah, we definitely brought it up though. We definitely were like, "That's such a interesting question." We've talked about it before, 100%.
Yeah.
Like why that is, but here we are, talking about our hearts.
It's so cool. So how are y'all's hearts? Talk to me about you guys. And I know like it's like you don't want to share everything because it's like vulnerable, but I want to know.
No, that's what we're here for.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
We had mentioned how our hearts were right before you got here, but we'll fill you in on what we said.
Yeah, tell me what you guys each said.
I just brought up the fact that I've had some really good workouts. Like today we went to Barry's, and that serotonin that you get from a really good workout just makes you ready for the day, to conquer the day. So my heart is good today. I'm happy. We're happy that this is here. We're happy that you're here.
Yeah.
So my heart's very good today.
Aww.
I feel blessed.
I love that.
Same. Yeah, literally everything he said. I feel like I've had such a good week, and it just is just going so well. I've had so much fun. I've done so many like productive things. And I'm just happy to be here. Like this, I don't know. I was gonna say I don't know why I'm happy. I mean, no, I am super happy.
Yeah, no, but that's a good thing. Like, why do you think you're happy? That's a really cool question too.
I mean, I guess it's just everything that I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so good about everything. Like I feel like I'm just not wasting time. I'm like using my time wisely. You know, getting stuff done.
We're like.
But yeah, I've had so much fun this week. We all went to the John Legend concert.
Yes.
Thanks to you.
Literally thanks to Tico.
I know. I love how he took both of us. How fun.
I know.
When I saw that he took you, I was like, oh my God, she's going to have the time of her life. And then I saw the stories and I'm like, look at, she's having the time of her life.
I wanted to post 47 videos, and then I was like, okay, I'll post 3.
This is the first concert that I posted a picture and one video. I was like in the moment in this concert, more than probably ever. But, and then I laughed because you posted the video of the background singers, and I was like, how many times did I say something about them last night? Or the night before? I was like obsessed.
Wow.
Outfits, their energy, obviously their vocals, but I've never seen background singers like so prominent in the show.
Me either.
It was such a great addition.
And I also, in a way, feel like they really highlighted Black women.
Exactly.
In such a incredible way.
Yeah.
They looked gorgeous. They were kind of the stars of the show, which I think a lot of the times too, and I'm white, so I don't want to speak for Black women, but I do want to say it seems like they don't get enough credit. They never, like, they need to be, like, at the front, and they were. And I think, obviously, John, like, had that in mind.
Yeah.
John, like, he's my friend, John Legend. I'm like, yeah, me and Johnny White. But I feel like, you know, he did that intentionally, and I loved that. I loved their hair. I loved their outfits.
There was times that I was recording them only, and I was
Me
like,
too.
I
if
think I have
someone's
more
seeing
videos
my
of that.
phone, they're like, why is he recording them? Like, they were amazing.
They
Like,
stole the
I
show.
wanted to hang out with them after the concert.
Same. For me, they stole the show.
Yeah.
John Legend was amazing, but I couldn't stop looking at them.
Their dance moves, like them singing,
Yeah.
like I was like, I love them so
I
much.
I know. I want to figure out their Instagram so I can like
Right.
follow them.
Yeah.
We got to figure that
Let's
out.
do that.
Little
Yeah.
search.
I love that.
Well, speaking of stage and singing, how is your heart after a performance on stage or when you're on stage? Like how would you describe that feeling?
I've never been asked that.
Really?
Which is crazy.
Wow.
I love this podcast. Seriously. I can genuinely say when I'm not on a competition show, I'm going to make that very clear.
Yeah.
When I'm on a competition show, it's very stressful. American Idol, because you're being judged
Hard.
hard. And it's not like you just get up there and perform and then it's over. But I will say that my own shows, I feel like I'm at home when I'm up there singing. It's the most out of body experience because it feels like it's what I was created on this earth to do. When I'm up on stage and I'm looking at people and I'm getting to use the gift that God gave me, like, that's what's so crazy. When people give me compliments about my voice, I'm like, it's like, I can't even just be like, thank you, because I was born and I just like had this voice. Like, it wasn't, you can't teach yourself how to sing.
not
Tico
something
asked
you
me that the other
learned.
day. What did you ask me?
I was like, I don't think I said if I can learn. I was like, do you think that singing is teachable?
I said no 100%.
I feel the same way about you.
I think it's a boring thing.
Yes.
Some people can
Do
learn
people
to be
know
okay.
that you can sing?
I'm
We're gonna talk about that after. Okay.
I'm not sure. I have not been very vocal about it.
We're about to talk about it. Hello. But I feel like that when I'm on stage, my heart is so full. And I recently did this show, and it was for these girls with a genetic mutation. So each one of them has like a disability. So one might not be able to talk. Like, it all comes out differently. One might not be able to walk. One is like fully functioning, but like isn't good in social settings. Like, it's new too. Like, it's just in the past 5 years or something. And when I was on stage and I was looking at these little girls watch me, first of all, I started crying. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be like the singer here. Like, I shouldn't be. I'm going to get emotional right now.
I'm getting emotional.
Because I was like, I'm not supposed to be like crying right now, but just like to see like the joy on their like faces and the fact that like I was making that experience happen for them. Like, some of them most of them feel like they don't belong in this world because they don't talk or walk like most people. And in that moment, you could just tell that they like completely forgot about all that. And they were just like there having so much fun with me. And at the end of the day, when I see that my gift is being used to impact people, that makes my heart full.
Yeah.
I have people on Instagram daily send me like tattoos of like my song lyrics or like messages that say like, I was gonna commit suicide and I heard your song, or like you posted a story today saying, hey, don't give up, whatever. It's like the smallest thing that I did and like it changed their life in some way. That is what makes my heart full, and that's the reason why I want to be a singer for the rest of my life. And that's the reason why I am a singer.
Yeah.
Because
I love that.
it's crazy to me that God would literally place a gift inside of me that would directly get to heal people. I think that it is like, imagine just like having the healing power where you can just put your hand on somebody and like you heal them. That's how I
you with your
feel with my voice.
Yeah. A beautiful voice. You guys need to hear it.
No, for real. And I mean, not to take away from that, but first of all, I love that you did that. That is so amazing. Like, that you use your voice and you did something like that for them. You probably made their whole entire week or month or whatever, you know. But there have been times that I listen to your songs and I just feel so much happier if I'm going through something. Like, you know, that one song that I love, yours, Hold Me Tonight, was just there for that season in my life that I needed it. And I know with Anthony too, he loves Worthy. And I'll never forget it. Like, I think it was after the second time he met you, after we listened to Worthy in the car, after going out, and we were at McDonald's, and he was like listening to the lyrics of Worthy, and he was like, I've never actually listened to the lyrics, and he just started crying, and I was like, just the power of words, and like you singing it as well. Like, you
that's
delivered.
why I'm a vocal person. I listen to like what people do with their voices, so that's what first catches my attention. And you're obviously singing your ass off on that song, but then you go into the lyrics, and I'm like, oh my god, what a song! I love that song so much.
I am worthy. I am worthy.
Thank you. It's crazy because I had this pull on me today to post that song tomorrow. It's so weird because I released that song like last year, but I just for some reason had like a pull to post like a video of that song tomorrow. I'm going to.
Yes.
But that song, it's crazy because like when I release songs, the way that I figured out which songs I want to release is what songs are speaking to me in that season of my life. So it's really selfish. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're the musician.
But
it
I
should
know,
be that way.
well, I know if it's connecting to me, it's going to be real to me, which means it's going to be real to others. And I was in an abusive relationship for 2 years. And this was 2 years ago. So now I can like talk about it and be verbal about it. But I was with someone that degraded who I was cheating on me, like really everything you could think in the book was happening. And it's crazy because I wrote that 4 years ago, or 4 years before I dated that person. But I always had this like feeling like I'm not supposed to release it right now. And it was like the second that relationship ended and I realized the abuse that I went through and the pain that I went through, I knew it was time to release a song. And a girl sent me the other day a tattoo that she got, and it said I am worthy on her arm.
Wow.
And she said like, oh, it's gonna make me emotional again, but she said like I've stopped like self-harming myself since I heard this song. And it's crazy because
You did that for that person.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
That's amazing. You could have saved someone's life. You probably have saved people's lives.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
With your voice, with the lyrics you write.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Well, and that's something I want to encourage you because he has an amazing voice for any of you that haven't heard his voice. But we get so afraid. I don't know if you feel like this, but when I first started singing, I was so afraid to like really just use my voice, or I was like, I don't really know how to write a song, or like, you know, I just felt very insecure, or like people might not take me serious, or whatever insecurity it was. When I really started to think about it and think like, you know what, at the end of the day, once again, it's not about me. That was the most freeing thing ever, because then I was able to use my gift freely and not have the fear of like what other people are going to think about me, but just being like, I have to use this because it's going to change someone's life.
Yeah.
And so just to encourage you.
I think I kind of had that revelation at John Legend. I was telling him after the concert that watching people on stage and what they were doing to me, and the fact that I know I can hold a key, I know I can sing pretty well. So I'm like, why am I not using this? Even if it's for a hobby, even if it's just, I know it will help me and probably help others.
It will help others.
Yeah.
That's the
I know,
thing.
like even if it was just my mom, she would cry every day if she heard me sing. She was always trying to get me to sing. So yeah.
That's what's crazy. I think society has told us that if we don't have a huge impact, then it's purposeless to show a gift. If it impacts one person, you've done your job.
Yeah.
If someone listens to this podcast and one person's life has changed, that person's gonna go tell someone else. That person's gonna go tell someone else. Like the multiplication that we don't see on the other side of using our gifts is insane. So if you can impact that one person, you've changed life forever for somebody and just like the world. Like you've made an impact in the world. And that's why I'm so proud of you guys, because you guys could have just said like, no, like we're not going to do this. It's too much work. Or like, I don't know if people are really going to listen to it, or whatever your thoughts were. But you took the leap of faith and you put in the work to create a studio and do all these things. And look where you are now.
We're here.
I know. I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We're so happy that we did it. 100%.
Right. Oh my gosh, I love y'all. I think something that's so cool about both of you is you aren't afraid to talk about the really deep things, and you're not afraid to talk about the hard things. And I think that a lot of people get intimidated to talk about things that maybe society doesn't want to talk about, or just make you feel uncomfortable in general. It's very easy to be surfacey.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
I mean, that's all of LA.
I've realized recently, especially because I've been in therapy the last 3 months, and I've realized that when I talk about it out loud, it gets not fixed necessarily, but it just feels better. Holding it all in, then it's just for me, and I'm the only one that's dealing with it. Like saying it out loud, it kind of lets it free into the world instead of me holding on to it. And I think that's important to have those conversations for sure.
That's so good. And I think it's important to have friends that are going to listen to you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
And
what
not
I told
judge
you
you.
last night too. And not judge you. Like, you have to have people around you that are really listening.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people act like they're listening and they're not.
Yeah.
And I think something too is you have to have the friends that when you are going through something and you are kind of a little, you know what, like you're just not in a good mood, or you're sassy, or you're rude, or whatever it is. Like, we're humans. We're not perfect. The friend that still unconditionally loves you. Unconditional love is not a thing anymore. People, I mean, it is with certain people, but I'm saying like in like pop culture, it's like, oh, well, that person like wasn't nice to me, so I'm never talking to them again. Actually, the way that you develop deeper relationships with people, if you really want to be their friend, like at the end of the day, some people are like, not a great person, don't want to be their friend, which is, that's fine. Like, that's normal too. But people that are like your friends and you know they have good hearts, getting closer to someone is through conflict. And people don't understand that. They think that getting closer to somebody is through like a vacation or like whatever it is, like a surfacey thing. No, like you can get closer to someone that way, but the most intimate thing is getting in a conflict with somebody and then resolving it and then getting closer to them.
Yeah. That's so
I never
true.
thought about it that way, but yes. You
Because-
heard it here first.
Period. But think about it, like after you get in a conflict with somebody and then you resolve it, you feel closer to that person after that.
Yeah.
Very true.
But if you just like, I was gonna say hit it and quit it. That's really not what I like. But like, you know what I mean?
Wrong podcast. That's the Send Nudes one.
That's the nudes. But that's hilarious. But like, if you have one conflict and you're out, it's like you didn't give that person like a chance. You know what I mean? But like, when you give that person an opportunity to like be like, hey, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to do that, then you guys end up getting closer. And then it's just like so cool. So
It's true.
and I've seen that in you guys.
Oh, yeah.
In an amazing way though. You guys are just so loved. And you're both such amazing people. And 99% of the world isn't like this. There aren't a lot of people like you two that are willing to be vulnerable. I love you. But like are willing to be vulnerable and go out of their way to care about somebody else, go out of their way to get down to the root of how someone feels and their mental health. And I just think both of you are so special.
Thank you. You are too.
You're making my heart so happy right now.
You are. You guys are legit. You guys are so special. And you're world changers. Both of you.
That's the biggest compliment.
You really are.
Thanks.
Well, that's why we're doing this. We're here to change the world.
I know.
Yeah.
And I just think like whoever you guys have this entire time on your podcast, every single person's going to have different answers, but I think it's so cool that I get to be on the first one. I'm honored. But
We
that
set the bar really high.
Yeah.
I really don't know what we're going to do.
No, I'm on every week.
Yeah.
Again next week with Madison Watkins.
We like changed the flyer. We're like, how's your heart podcast? Tico Lorenzo, Anthony Salco, Madison Watkins.
Watkins and no guests. No, okay.
So, what are some habits you've implemented to add positivity or happiness into your life?
Love that question. Love the working out. I think working out is the most important thing you can do for your body physically. Sorry. I think every single morning I wake up and I journal and I read my Bible and I talk to God. And for me, that is like the most fulfilling time in my day because I get filled up. But I do that in the mornings, and then it's just like, even that, it's just like, oh my gosh, like that's my daily little nugget of truth that I get to like hold on to. And then I think for me, going somewhere where you feel like most connected to like nature or something that you just like love doing. And for me, it's the beach. We're so lucky that we live close to the
Right.
beach. Most people don't.
Yeah.
But if I see the beach and just how vast it is and how small I am, I'm like, it gives me perspective, you know? So that's it.
Wow. That's literally what we discussed on our first episode. I said the same thing. I said connecting to nature is something that I have to implement at least a few times of the week. I go on so many hikes, and seeing that nature and the views reminds me of how blessed I am that I live here, blessed that I'm able to see it and experience it and be in that moment. And it's just, we're so blessed and it reminds me. So those
We
are
really
definitely,
are so lucky. We can drive 45 minutes and we're at the beach. We can drive 2 hours and we're in the desert. You know,
Right?
we have
2 hours and be in the snow.
in the snow. Correct. We have the best of all the worlds, basically. So it's really good for us. I think nature brings us all peace and calmness, and yeah, we're really lucky.
Yeah, and I think just like even like being grateful for the little things, like that we have legs.
100%.
Like I think it's like crazy because when you go on a hike, you don't think about, you're just like, oh, it's hot, or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's easy to be like, not you, but like in general, it's easy to be like, oh, like I'm tired or whatever. But it's like switching your mindset to be like, I have legs. A lot of people don't have legs to walk, or I have like eyes to see. And like when you really think about the things that you have and you're grateful, everything changes.
Yeah.
We always focus on what we don't have, but when we focus on what we do, our whole mindset changes.
Yeah, it's really about how you train your mind to think a certain way and your life changes. And I've done that in the last few months. I've literally changed so many, like I'll have a negative thought and immediately I remember, why am I thinking that way? Like it's just so easy to switch your mind a little bit and you'll live such a happier, more grateful, blessed life.
Yeah.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
I love that.
And to piggyback what you said, definitely the mornings for me are very important. I've now picked up journaling and just, it's when you're like, I feel like more vulnerable maybe, and to start your day a certain way. And I don't necessarily read the Bible, but I was doing my meditations in the morning and it just sets me up for my day. It's like, I'm ready to conquer.
Yeah.
I love that.
But yeah.
We love you and we're so happy you came on.
I love you guys. I wish I could squeeze.
Well, you can squeeze us after this
Okay.
when there's like no mics and cables
Okay.
in front of you.
Perfect.
But do you have any questions for us before we do a
Before
quick
we
little
have-
game?
Yeah, we have one
Oh
game.
my gosh.
It's okay if you don't. We've
I don't
we've
think-
covered a lot.
I was gonna say I don't think I have any questions.
All right,
I
perfect.
think we've covered everything, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a great conversation. But we're doing something called the How's Your Heart Rapid Round.
Dun-dun-dun.
Where
We
we
need to
ask
have music.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we're gonna give you like 5 quick questions. It's either like this or that, yes or no. So they're just quick. We were honestly supposed to ask them in the beginning. We're gonna do this every episode, but we just got thrown right into it and never shut up. But that's
Because
okay.
That's just how it is when I'm on here.
All right. So this or that, recording studio or stage?
Stage.
'Kay.
Quality or quantity?
Quality.
Small town or big city?
Big city.
We have to read our notes.
Ow. Sorry. Keeping your emotions or venting to someone?
Venting to somebody.
And the most important one of all,
Drum roll, please.
I think we know the answer, but John or the backup singers?
Oh, the backup singer.
There you have it.
Ba-dum-bum.
Oh my god.
And that was our rapid round.
Honestly, Madison, thank you so much for coming tonight.
Yes.
This means so much to
We're
me.
so grateful.
And to him. Honestly, I don't know how we're going to top this off with whenever we bring another guest on, but it really means
Good
a
luck.
lot
No,
to me
I'm
that you're here.
And guys, please stream Madison's music. You will not be disappointed.
Oh, yes.
The message, the vocals.
Well, thank you guys. This has been so like life-giving to me, and what's so cool is everything we talked about here. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna share it with somebody else
Yes.
Oh,
and encourage them. So, thank you.
Awesome.
yeah. I
Well,
guess
cheers,
this is
guys.
where
One
we
last
end
time. All right.
They have great wine too. So,
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. This is How's Your Heart podcast. We will see you guys next time.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
look at the wave. Look at the wave.